Hello, welcome to SexRx. I'm Dr. Manny. We all want what is best for our children, but when it comes to sex, some parents want to run in the other direction. So how do you actually raise sexually healthy kids these days? Here to help us sort it all out is sex therapist Dr. Laura Berman. Thank you for coming.
Thanks for having me.
The sex guru that you are. All right, it's back to school time.
Yes.
My kid is off to college now in September. I got people in high school. What kind of things are parents to do as the school begins, in so far as signals,
Right.
and
And what to watch out
and what
for.
to watch out for, and how do we do the talk here?
Yeah. Well, first of all, ideally, it's not a talk. It's an ongoing conversation for their whole lives. And hopefully before they get to high school and college, you've had several conversations with them about how their bodies work, safer sex, STDs. But the thing is, you have a son that's going to college.
Right.
That's a whole new transition because you don't have the same degree of oversight anymore.
Well, that's what you think. But yes, you're absolutely right. He's going to be living in campus.
Right.
And
with drinking potentially and being exposed where his inhibitions are down and his judgment is down. So it's really important, even if you've had a million conversations with him before your kid leaves for college, to have at least one more, if not several more conversations about safer sex, about consent, because 1 in 5 girls are going to be raped during the time that they're in college.
So have a lot of respect.
Absolutely, and that one no means no. It's not like James Bond said, 1,000 no's and 1 yes means yes.
Yes.
1,000 yeses and 1 no means no, but also safer sex. And I think for college-age boys, there's so many great... they kind of shy away from condoms. They think that that's something lame, but there's so many cool new condoms out there. Durex and some of the other companies have them that...
Yeah, okay, so what are you saying? That I should pack a box of condoms for him to take to college?
And try to frame it in a different way so that, like, for instance, there are condoms out there that improve a woman's arousal and slow a man's down. And for a 21-year-old boy, that could be attractive in a way.
What am I going to take him shopping to Kmart for that? I mean,
any drugstore, pack a suitcase for him.
I can't do that.
Why not?
I don't know. I mean, I can. I mean, I don't know how many guys out there. I mean, my father never did that.
Have you talked to him about it though? Because we grew up at a different time than our kids.
You know what I did? I'm going to tell you what I did. Okay. I did the Dr. Manny approach.
Okay, tell me.
I did a physical.
Yeah.
What I told him to do is, look, you're off to college. I'm going to. You need a good physical and you need a complete blood work. He says, what kind of blood work do you do? Well, I'm going to check your anemia. I'm going to check you for AIDS, and I'm going to check you for chlamydia. And he looked at me like, you checking me for AIDS? I said, listen to me. These are things that could potentially, hepatitis B, which is a very common problem. Yeah. You got vaccination. I tested you for HIV. I tested you for chlamydia. I tested you for herpes. These are things that I need to know because off you go. And if
we gotta have a baseline.
And I need to have a baseline. So that's how I approach my technique.
But did you talk to him about how to avoid those things moving forward?
Well, of course. I mean, yes, I did, but I can't take him to go shopping for condoms.
Can you pack some in his?
All right, I'll try that.
Suitcase?
All right. Now, what about the rules?
Yeah.
Because the rules go out the window once these kids get big. Like in the house, no drinking, no this, no that. How do you kind of foster rules when they're a little bit more independent?
Well, certainly as long as they're living in your home, you have a lot more leverage. But I think what gets tricky, especially with the high school age and even middle school age now, is all the rules around not only dating and especially for girls, not dating above their grade level, when and if they do start dating, the age at which they start dating, but lots of rules and stopgaps need to be put in place around social media. That's the biggest growing area of concern, I think, for parents, not only in terms of sexual predators, but in terms, we know that kids' brains aren't fully developed until they're in their mid to late 20s.
They put silly pictures
up.
up.
And they don't understand that when they apply to college, the college admissions offices are going to look at that.
A question that I always sort of get is, at what age should you have the beginning of your continuous talk forever? At what age? I mean, is it 13? Yeah. Is it when let's talk about girls, because boys sometimes I can handle boys, but girls is more problematic.
Yeah.
Is the time to have that sexual talk when, let's say, in the adolescent phase, when the young woman gets her first menstrual cycle?
Ideally, well, so there's different conversations. Before, a lot of girls are getting it as early as 9. They're starting, but you want to talk to them about sort of the changes that come with adolescence by 4th or 5th grade. But you kind of get into the mechanics of baby making, and they really don't see it in the way they don't envision what we envision when we describe how babies are made. But you're doing that by around 11 or 12, and by the time they're 13, 14, 15, you're getting into STDs, how to protect yourself, and you're wrapping it all around. The most important thing that parents need to know is that you have to get clear before you have any of these conversations what your sexual values are. And the hardest question to figure that out is, when do I want my child to have sex? Under what circumstances? When they're married, when they're 50, whatever, and then wrap every conversation in that.
That's philosophical. But another problem that I see, if you look at the rates of teen pregnancies, they have come down. There are pockets in America, of course, that it hasn't, but overall it has come down. However, if I talk to a lot of my pediatric friends, they tell me, well, yes, but oral sex is off the charts.
Yes.
And that brings me to another point, because we're learning a lot about the consequences of human papillovirus and oral sex when it comes to neck and throat cancers as one gets into their 50s and 60s. And that's a sort of a black and white issue. The smoking, yes, the drinking, yes, but HPV is it's one of the big things. So it brings us to the point of, let's say, how do we protect children against HPV? And Gardasil is a vaccination that has been around for a while. What's your take on that?
I am a huge supporter of it for girls and boys.
Right.
And I have 3 sons, and all of them of age over 11 have gotten it. And will when they reach that age. I think a lot of parents shy away from it because they imagine, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to tell my kid what this is for. I'm going to have that conversation. But you can just tell them that it's to protect them from sexually transmitted diseases later in life.
Yeah. Because, and again, I use that argument when I talk to patients. They ask me about Gardasil, and the beginning was, well, it's going to promote promiscuity, and they're going to have intercourse early on, and blah blah blah. But in reality, is any exposure to human papillovirus, whether it is in the vaginal tract or in the male reproductive organs, and now in the throat and tongue, is consequentially a potential for the development of cancer. You got to do it.
You got to do it. And this vaccine protects from 70% of the strains that cause HPV, or over 70%. Right. So that's a pretty significant, it won't protect from everything, but it's a significant protection.
Right. All right. Well, Laura, thank you.
Thank you.
The sex queen.
You're going to talk to your son and pack those condoms and talk to him about
go
safer
shopping.
sex?
All right. And if you have any health questions, send them here at Fox at drmanny@foxnews.com. Until next time, I'm Dr. Manny.